3 is a number, numeral, and digit. It is the natural number following 2 and preceding 4, and is the smallest odd prime number and the only prime number preceding a square number. It has religious and cultural significance in many societies. 3 is the first number to which the meaning all was given. It is the triad, being the number of the whole, as it contains both the beginning, the middle, and the end. The power of 3 is universal, as it reflects the nature of the world in its divisions of the heaven, the earth, and the waters. It is reflected in the humans as well, being made up of a body, a soul, and a spirit. 3 is the rough approximation of pi, and a very rough approximation of e. It is the number of non-linear points needed to determine a plane and a circle. It is the first odd prime, and it is the first Fermat prime. It is the first Messerian prime, and the second Saint-Germain prime. It is the second Mergine prime exponent, and the second factorial prime. It is the second Lucas prime, and the second triangular number. It is the only prime triangular number. 3 is the fourth unique Fibonacci number and the fifth in the sequence. It is the smallest number of sides that a simple polygon can have. According to Pythagoras, who called it the Triad, it is the noblest of all digits, as it is the only number to equal the sum of the terms below it, and the only number whose sum with those below equals the product of them and itself. 3 is the atomic number of lithium. It is the ASCII code for end of text. 3 is the number of dimensions that humans can perceive. 3 is the number of elementary fermionian generations according to the standard model of particle physics. The triangle, a polygon with 3 sides and 3 vertices, is the most stable physical space. The human retina contains 3 types of color receptors, and there are 3 primary colors used in additive or subtractive models. The 3 doshas or weaknesses and their antidotes are the basis of Ayurvedic medicine in India. And many other religions contain elements of 3. The 3 jewels of Buddhism, the 3 pure ones of Taoism, the Christian Holy Trinity of the Father, the Son, and the Holy Spirit, the triple goddess of the Wiccan belief systems. The threefold office of Christ is a Christian doctrine which states that Christ performs the function of the prophet, the priest, and the king. The ministry of Jesus lasted approximately 3 years, and during the agony in the garden, Christ was asked 3 times for the cup to be taken from him. And Jesus rose on the 3rd day after his death. And it is widely known that the devil tempted Jesus 3 times. St. Peter thrice denied Jesus and thrice affirmed his faith in Jesus. The Magi, the wise men, gave Jesus 3 gifts. There are 3 synoptic gospels and 3 epistles of John. Paul the Apostle went blind for 3 days after his conversion to Christianity. And in Judaism, we also see the reflection of 3. Noah starting with his 3 sons, Ham, Shem, and Japheth. And there were 3 great patriarchs of the faith, Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. The prophet Balaam beat his donkey 3 times. The prophet Jonah spent 3 days and 3 nights in the belly of a large fish. And in fact, there are 3 divisions among the Jewish people, the Kohen, Levite, and Israel. There are 3 daily prayers and 3 Sabbath meals. And the Sabbath ends when 3 stars are visible in the night sky. There are 3 pilgrimage festivals. And there are 3 sins from which a Jew must die rather than be punished, including idolatry, murder, and sexual immorality. A Jewish boy's hair is cut for the first time at 3. And potential converts are traditionally turned away 3 times to test their sincerity. In Jewish mysticism of the Kabbalah, it is believed that the soul consists of 3 parts, being the breath, the wind, and the repose. In Buddhism, there are the 3 jewels, which are the 3 principal ideologies of the faith. In Hinduism, the Trimurti consists of Brahma, who is the creator, Vishnu, who is the preserver, and Shiva, who is the destroyer. There are 3 paths to salvation in the Bhagavad Gita. In Zoroastrianism, there are 3 important virtues: good thoughts, good words, and good deeds. And in Norse mythology, the number 3 is very significant, along with its powers 9 and 27. Prior to Ragnarok, it is said that there would be 3 hard winters without an intervening summer, Fimbulwinter. Odin himself endured 3 hardships upon the World Tree in his quest for the ruins. He hanged himself, wounded himself with a spear, and suffered from thirst and hunger. His father had borne 3 sons, Odin, Vili, and Ve. And in Norse mythology itself, before the world was created, there existed 3 realms: Niflheim, which was the land of the mist, Muspelheim, which was the land of fire, and Gigunganep, which was the great void between the 2. In the Ragnarok mythology, it is said that the giant Loki fathered 3 children who would be instrumental in bringing about the event called Ragnarok. Hel, and she was the ruler of the underworld called Niflheim; Fenrir, who was the gruesome wolf who would eventually kill Odin himself; and Jormungand, who was the Midgardian serpent who would battle Thor to the very end of time. We are also reminded of the Wiccan rule of 3, represented by the triple goddess, the maiden, the mother, and the crone, as well as their belief in the 3 fates. The sons of Kronos were numbered in 3, being Zeus, Poseidon, and Hades, and the Slavic god, Triglav, had 3 gruesome heads. The triple greatness of Hermes Trismegistus, or thrice-born, was an important concept to the beliefs of Hermeticism. And the oak, the ash, and the thorn trees were called the fairy triad of trees. And where these 3 grow together, it is said that fairies will always live. 3 has long been considered a number of harmony, wisdom, and understanding. 3 is the number of the planet Jupiter, and 3 is said to be lucky for the Sagittarius. In tarot, 3 is the card of the Empress. And in Irish folklore, there is a saying that if you catch a leprechaun and set him free, that leprechaun will grant you 3 wishes. In Japan, there were the 3 wise monkeys who taught us to hear no evil, speak no evil, and see no evil. In the beliefs of the Mayans, it is said that it took 3 attempts to create mankind, the first being of clay, the second man being of wood, the third being created from maize. In Sumerian beliefs, the goddess Inanna descended into the underworld, but arose from her death after 3 days. In Sumatran beliefs, Manku Manku, the great blue chicken, laid 3 huge eggs, and from these 3 eggs emerged 3 new gods, and they created the 3 different levels of the universe: the heaven, the earth, and the underworld. Ancient Romans believed that 3 gods were needed to protect a house from evil spirits, the first being Forculus, who was the god of doors; Cardea, who was the goddess of hinges and door handles; Lamentinus, who was the god of the threshold. And throughout ancient Kemet and later Egypt, the concept of the Triad would hold as a powerful linchpin of the belief system. There was the Osirian Triad with Osiris, Isis, and Horus; the Theban Triad of Amun, Mut, and Khonsu; the Memphite Triad of Ptah, Sekhmet, and Nefertim; the Elephantine Triad of Khnum, Sestet, Anuket. The sun god Ra was represented in 3 forms as he moved across the sky. In the morning he was Khepri, at noon he was Re Harakti, and in the evening he was Ra Atun. Roman mythology produced a powerful triad, being Jupiter the father, Juno the wife, and Minerva the daughter. Odin, Freya, and Thor formed a triad, with Odin representing the great wisdom and knowledge, Frey being the goddess of fertility and prosperity, and Thor, who is the god of thunder and strength. In Slavic mythology, there was a triad consisting of the god of heaven, the god of earth, and the god of death in Persian myth. Ganga, Yamuna, and Saraswati merged as one in the Triveni, and Shakti, Lakshmi, and Saraswati formed a triad in Puric Hinduism, as did Ahura Mazda, Mithra, and Apamnapat in Zoroastrianism. For many reasons, 3 holds a special place in the culture of men and in the fabric in the world in which we live, but its true mysteries are still yet to be revealed.